With big conversations going on right now in Cardano about the adoption of USDC and exactly how we can get Circle into the ecosystem, I want to take a brief minute to actually highlight RLUSD, the fiat-backed stablecoin coming in from XRP, and exactly how that stacks up against some of the giants, of course, including USDT, USDC, and PayPal's stablecoin. What's up, gang? Welcome into Dapp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. As I've just laid down the foundation there, we've got Charles Hoskinson, #1, highlighting the community and the CF as it pertains to USDC and exactly why Circle's fiat-backed stablecoin isn't already on Cardano. But in addition to that, we've got some positive news here as it pertains to the integration of a brand new stablecoin labeled RLUSD coming in straight from the XRP ledger. So without any further ado, as a part of today's video, we'll take a look at the reserves for RLUSD, USDT, USDC, and PayPal's fiat-backed stablecoin. If it's your first time stopping by the channel and you appreciate content just like this, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. It's by far one of the easiest ways to support me as a content creator. And last but not least, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave those down below. Now, if you want to take your support a step further, I am a stake pool operator operating the Dapp Central stake pools, both sharing the tickers DAPP. As always, your contributions and delegations are greatly appreciated. Now, let's jump right on in here. If it's your first time hearing about RLUSD, it's again Ripple's fiat-backed stablecoin, very similar to, for example, USDM released by Moneta here on Cardano, which is native to the Cardano ledger or the Cardano blockchain. So it states you that while RLUSD is supported on both the XRP ledger and the Ethereum blockchain, the team is currently working on listing it on the Ethereum network. And as it currently stands, RLUSD is fully backed by cash and cash equivalents. Again, this is exactly what we've seen with USDM here on Cardano, which I'll use in sort of a reference here to hopefully bring the point home. Now, why would you actually want to choose RLUSD? #1, you've got stability in the sense that it's backed 1-to-1 to the US dollar. You've also got enterprise grade trust, where RLUSD is issued under the New York Trust Charter. In the third piece, it mentions a key entry opportunity to DeFi. Of course, with the XRP ledger and the fact that they'll also be launching their own protocols on their network, RLUSD will sort of be the go-to stablecoin or integration, right, for people who want to bring on fiat into that particular blockchain, or Ethereum, as they also are aiming to onboard RLUSD. Now, last but not least, we've got global reach here, given the thorough list of partners, which basically range all around the globe. Now, there's some really positive news here that I also want to share here in just a moment, as it pertains to Brad Garlinghouse and him actually meeting with President-elect Donald Trump just a couple of days ago. And then on top of that, we've got Charles Hoskinson confirming that if there is a reasonable path to get RLUSD on Cardano, that he's willing to foot the bill for that integration. So again, a lot of really, really interesting stuff to dive into. But before we do, let's actually take a look here and just quickly review how RLUSD stacks up against some of the giants, including USDT and USDC and PayPal stablecoin. And then we're going to talk about how that integration could potentially look if RLUSD were to come into the Cardano ecosystem. So let's jump right back on in here. This is a piece coming in here from Bitrue, and it's again highlighting the fact that Ripple has already moved over $70 billion worth of liquidity across more than 200 institutions, covering 90% of the daily foreign exchange market. Some of Ripple's strengths include, of course, its established network, meaning that basically they're able to tap into any ready-made network of financial partners, including MoneyGram and Santander. In addition, they're regulatory compliant. I mentioned the NYDFS, or the New York Department of Financial Services, which has basically given them the green light to issue their stablecoin following a long time, or at least a long heated debate and a lot of court proceedings that all came through Gary Gensler. So as of late, we've seen a lot of those suits dropped, and XRP's price action literally rose from around 50 cents all the way to around $2.50 right now. Now, scrolling down here, we've got their CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, stating that they expect to see greater adoption of stablecoins like RLUSD as the US moves closer towards clearer regulations. Now, let's take a look here at USDT and USDC. Now, if we take a look first at USDT, I'll let you jump over to their reserves. If you aren't aware, they currently boast over $137 billion worth of their stablecoins right now in the open markets, making them the most liquid and the most adopted stablecoin when you look across the entire crypto space. Now, if we take a look at USDC, which I just made a video about, if you've missed that, please go ahead and check it out. It's basically breaking down why we haven't seen USDC on Cardano just yet, and the fact that Charles Hoskinson has mentioned that we did have an opportunity back in 2021. However, if you do the math, a lot of smart contract capabilities and DeFi protocols weren't necessarily even ready for stablecoin adoption back at that particular time. Now, again, focusing on USDC here, their reserves currently standing at around $45 billion. So they come in at number 2. Now, taking a closer look at some of the challenges that USDT and USDC both face, with specifics to USDT, they have regulatory concerns. They've not been able to answer a lot of questions about their reserves and their transparency. And then when it comes to USDC, if you've missed it, about a year ago, we saw SVB, or the Silicon Valley Bank, basically go down, or at least have a bank run on it, where we saw a lot of Circle's holdings basically depleted. That caused a depeg. And since then, a lot of people have been very anxious in order, or at least in picking back or readopting USDC. So they both sort of face two different issues. One more or less when it comes to transparency in their reserves, and the second given a recent depeg in a bank run that happened about a year ago. Now, if we take a look here at the third option, we've got PayPal's stablecoin, which is PYUSD. Now, what's crazy about this is that this actually has already been bridged into the Cardano ecosystem. I'll let you take that back. USDT and USDC have both been bridged into Cardano through OneChain. So if you aren't aware, OneChain, one of the biggest and one of the most secure bridging providers, has already brought all 3 of those stablecoins into Cardano, including DAI as well. So if you want a wrapped version of those 3 stablecoins, you can get access to them on Cardano. But what a lot of people are looking for now are native integrations. So again, there's a big difference there between a wrapped asset versus a native asset. And I've broken that down in prior videos. So jumping back into some of the reserves for the PayPal stablecoin, this is as of December 31st of 2024 at 5 p.m. EST or Eastern. There was roughly around $500 million worth of the PayPal stablecoin currently in circulation. Now, when it first started off about 2 years ago, it was at roughly around 100 million-ish. So we have seen more adoption, but it's nowhere near the reserves amount that we've seen with USDT or USDC. Hopefully you guys appreciate that there. As always, again, if you find content like this to be helpful, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by, consider subscribing to the channel. And last but not least, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave those down below. And again, if you want to show your support, consider delegating with either of the 2 Dapp Central stake pools. Now, let's take a look here at RLUSD in their current set of reserves. So if you aren't aware, they now currently boast $83 million worth of their stablecoin, or at least $83 million worth in reserves for their stablecoin, again, spread out between the XRP ledger or the XRP network and the Ethereum network. Now, we could potentially be getting an integration as that pertains to Cardano, which I think would mean even more reserves, even more minting, but then even more adoption of Cardano itself, as we've very, very greatly needed a new stablecoin here. Of course, we've already got the likes of JED and USDM. I want to say USDM is now around $10 million worth of their fiat-backed stablecoin launched on Cardano. And I want to say that JED is around 4 to 5 million. Of course, again, I'll double check those numbers, but at least from a rough standpoint, you can sort of get to see the picture where Cardano has its own homegrown stablecoins still at a very early stage. But then you've got something like RLUSD, which has around 83 million, PayPal's stablecoin at about 500 million, and then you've got billions worth when it comes to USDC and USDT. Now, when it comes to PayPal, if I should jump back over here, some of their benefits or advantages are the fact that PayPal's already integrated with over 430 million global users, giving it significant adoption advantage. And the fact that it also has institutional partners, right? When you take a look at, for example, bigger companies in digital payment ecosystems. Now, scrolling down here, when it comes to RLUSD, let's take a look at exactly what we can expect moving forward. Now, this is again coming in from Brad and their team, stating that moving forward, they aim to target institutions where RLUSD will serve large financial players, improving liquidity and efficiency for cross-border payments. And then they also want to be the bridge to traditional finance with crypto by offering a compliant blockchain-based backed stablecoin. And they aim to also merge their strengths of the traditional finance ecosystem with crypto innovation. So that is basically it there. Now, I do want to highlight a potential challenge when it comes to Ripple, and that's the fact that they're, of course, competing against the big boys in their liquidity, and the fact that there's been more interest in PayPal's stablecoin. Now, let's jump into more of the Cardano conversation here. And this is coming in here from Charles Hoskinson. Again, I'll leave the link down to my prior video if you missed it. But there was discussion about USDC not being integrated into Cardano. And there's actually now been a pivot, right, in that particular conversation with Charles stating, if there's a reasonable path to integrate RLUSD on Cardano, I'll try to cover it as a gift to the ecosystem. Cardano needs a solid stablecoin ecosystem, including, of course, the likes of USDM and JED, and now potentially RLUSD. Now, that said, Charles has also put together XE, which has brought on 2 members from, I want to say it's the Ergo ecosystem, in order to boost Cardano's stablecoin adoption and integrations. So stablecoins are definitely a key piece here. Charles obviously knows that. And it sounds like XRP could be the next stablecoin integrated into Cardano. And we saw Charles follow up stating, and this was in response to Jane, we've already had a call with the RLUSD folks at XRP, and we're actively talking. Again, this was posted on January 12th, so literally just a couple of days ago. Now, what does this actually mean, and what sort of highlights have been coming when it comes to RLUSD and XRP adoption? So if you take a look here, this was literally just a couple of days ago. We have Ripple, the company behind XRP, who's gained a lot of attraction with their CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, and the Chief Legal Officer, Stuart Alderati, attending a private dinner with President-elect Donald Trump on January 6th, where, again, Brad sort of documented that on X. I just showed you guys the picture there earlier. Now, continuing on, it states, in other exciting developments, we've seen all banks in Japan will be set to adopt Ripple's XRP ledger in 2025, and that this particular integration was announced by the SBI CEO, Yoshitaka Kitao. So not only are they at a very, very early stage, and not only are they open to collaborating with Cardano, it now sounds like they'll be making even more friends outside of the US and bringing their cross-border payments to traditional finance in hopes that they're able to be, or that they are able to be, that bridge, bringing them on into the crypto ecosystem. Now, with Charles mentioning the fact that they've already spoken with the team at Ledger or with RLUSD, my next question is exactly how much would it take to actually bring them into Cardano? And it sounds like from a payment perspective, Charles is willing to foot the bill. So as we get ready to close out here, I want to pose you, the viewer, a question. What stablecoin would you prefer? Which one would you like to see here on Cardano, with the options of USDT, USDC, PayPal's USD, and RLUSD? And I'm talking from a native perspective. Of course, again, we have all those coming in through on-chain. But when it comes to native integrations, what would you like to see on Cardano and why? Of course, at the end of the day, if we could get all of them in a perfect world, that would be the best option. But let's just say, for the sake of conversation, you're only able to pick one stable coin. Which one would it be? So that'll bring me to the end here for today's video, breaking down RLUSD, exactly what it poses to bring, and the fact that it could be coming to Cardano sooner rather than later, as opposed to Circle's USDC. Again, if you appreciate content like this, please make sure to smash that thumbs up on the way out. If it's your first time stopping by, consider subscribing to the channel. And last but not least, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave those down below. That said, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers, everybody. Take care.